Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Everyday English Talk. I am Ben.
And I am Anna. We are so happy to be here with you today for another episode to practice English together.
Today, we are going to talk about a very stressful but interesting situation. Imagine you wake up and nothing works. No lights, no phone, and no internet.
That is right, Ben. We are talking about a day without electricity. In our modern world, we use electricity for almost everything. When it goes away, life changes immediately.
In this episode, we will discuss the morning surprise of a power cut, how to find alternatives for daily tasks, and the positive side of disconnecting from technology.
It is a great topic for learning daily English because we use many words for household objects and routines.
As always, you can download the free PDF transcript and vocabulary exercises on our website to follow along with us.
Let's jump into our first conversation about waking up to a dark house. Ben, have you ever experienced a sudden power cut in the middle of your morning routine? It happened to me yesterday, and it was a complete disaster.
Oh no, Anna, I hate when that happens. Usually, the power goes off at night when I am sleeping, but having it happen in the morning is much worse. What happened exactly?
Well, I was sleeping very deeply. Suddenly, I woke up and realized the room was very quiet. Usually, I can hear the small hum of my air conditioner or the fan, but there was total silence. I looked at my phone to check the time, but the screen was black. My phone had run out of battery during the night because I forgot to plug it in.
That is the worst feeling. Without your phone, you don't have an alarm clock. Did you wake up late for work?
Yes, I woke up at 8:30 a.m., and I usually leave the house at 8 a.m. I jumped out of bed and tried to turn on the lights, but of course, nothing happened. The power cut started at 4 a.m., according to my neighbor. I felt so lost. I tried to go to the kitchen to make some coffee because I cannot start my day without it.
Let me guess. You have an electric coffee machine, right?
Exactly. I pushed the button many times, but it just sat there. I felt so frustrated. I even tried to use the electric stove to boil water in a pot, but the stove didn't work either. I realized that my entire morning routine depends on electricity. I couldn't toast my bread, I couldn't check the news on the TV, and I couldn't even use the microwave to warm up my breakfast.
It really makes you realize how much we rely on technology. When the power goes off, we suddenly feel like we are living in the past. My house is the same. Everything is electric. If there is a power outage, I can't even open my garage door to take my car out.
I didn't even think about that. Luckily, I take the bus. But I spent 10 minutes just standing in my kitchen, wondering what to do. I felt like a robot that had run out of battery. I had to wash my face with cold water because the water heater was off too. It was a very cold surprise.
Brr, that sounds very uncomfortable. A cold shower or even just cold water on your face in the morning is a very fast way to wake up, but it is not a pleasant way. Did you manage to get to work on time eventually?
I was very late. I couldn't even iron my shirt, so I had to wear a wrinkled one. I felt very messy all day. It is amazing how one small thing like electricity can change your whole morning. We take it for granted every day until it disappears.
You are so right. We think the power will always be there. When it goes away, we realize we don't have a backup plan. I think I should buy a manual coffee maker and a traditional alarm clock that uses real batteries, just in case it happens to me.
That is a very smart idea. After yesterday, I'm going to buy a few things that don't need a plug. I never want to be that stressed again. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the great phrases we used in our talk.
I am ready. Let's explain them to our listeners.
First, power cut. It means a period of time when the electricity supply to a building or area is stopped. For example, the storm caused a major power cut in the city.
Second, go off. In this context, it means to stop functioning or stop flowing. For example, the lights suddenly went off while we were eating dinner.
Third, run out of battery. It means that a device has no more electrical power left in it. For example, I couldn't call you because my phone ran out of battery.
Fourth, boil water. It means to heat water until it reaches the temperature where it turns into steam. For example, you need to boil water before you add the tea leaves.
Fifth, morning routine. These are the things you do every day when you first wake up. For example, my morning routine includes brushing my teeth and exercising. So listeners, how about you? Do you remember the last time you had a power cut at your home?
We would love to know. Tell us in the comments if you stayed calm and found a solution, or if you felt frustrated like Anna did because you couldn't follow your morning routine. So, Anna, after you realized the power was out and you couldn't make coffee, what did you do for the rest of the day? Did the electricity come back quickly?
No, it stayed off for nearly 12 hours. I had to find alternatives for almost everything. Since I couldn't use the lights, the first thing I did when I got home in the evening was look for my flashlight. But, of course, the batteries in the flashlight were old and didn't work.
That always happens. We only check the flashlight when we actually need it. What did you do then? Did you just sit in the dark?
No, I remembered that I had some decorative candles in the living room. I decided to light a candle in every room. It actually looked quite beautiful, but it was very difficult to see what I was doing. I tried to cook dinner, but lighting a candle is not the same as having a bright kitchen light.
Cooking in the dark is very dangerous. I hope you didn't use a knife.
I didn't. I decided to eat canned food instead of cooking something fresh. I had some canned soup and some bread. It wasn't the best dinner, but it was safe. The biggest problem was the bathroom. It was pitch black in there. I had to take a cold shower because, as I mentioned, the water heater was off.
A cold shower in the dark sounds like a scene from a scary movie. You are very brave, Anna. When I have no power, I usually just go to a shopping mall or a cafe that has a generator. I don't like staying in a dark house.
I thought about going out, but I was too tired. I realized that instead of using my laptop or watching TV, I had to find a different way to spend my time. I found an old battery-operated radio. It was fun to listen to the music and the news like people did many years ago. It felt very traditional.
That is a great alternative. A radio is a very useful thing to have during a power outage. Did you have enough water to drink? Sometimes when the power goes off, the water pumps in big buildings stop working too.
Luckily, I had some bottled water in the kitchen. But it made me realize how important it is to have an emergency kit. You need extra batteries, plenty of candles, matches, and some food that you don't need to heat up.
I agree. Most people don't think about these things until the power goes out. I have a small box in my closet with a flashlight, a portable power bank for my phone, and some dry snacks. It makes me feel much safer.
I am going to make a kit like that this weekend. I also learned that you can use a bag of ice to keep your food cool in the fridge for a few hours. If you keep the fridge door closed, the cold air stays inside.
That is a very useful tip. If you open the door too often, the food will go bad very quickly. I usually put a big block of ice in the freezer to keep everything frozen as long as possible.
It is all about finding a different way to live for a short time. We are so used to pushing buttons, but sometimes we have to do things the old-fashioned way.
It is a good lesson in being patient and prepared. Sometimes, having no electricity is like a little test for our brains.
It's time for our vocabulary practice. Let's review the most useful expressions from this part.
Good idea. Learning how to use these will help everyone speak more naturally.
First, flashlight. It means a small electric light that you can carry in your hand. For example, don't forget to bring a flashlight when you go camping.
Second, light a candle. It means to start the flame of a candle to create light. For example, when the storm started, we decided to light a candle.
Third, Cold shower. It means washing your body with water that is not heated. For example, I took a cold shower this morning to wake myself up.
Fourth, canned food. This is food that is preserved and sold in a metal container. For example, it is good to keep some canned food in the house for emergencies.
Fifth, instead of. It is used to say that one thing is done or chosen and another is not. For example, I will have tea instead of coffee today. So listeners, now we want to hear from you. What are the 3 things you always have in your house just in case there is a power cut?
Share your answer with us. Do you have a flashlight with working batteries, or do you prefer to have a lot of candles and matches ready?
You know, Ben, even though the power cut was very stressful at the beginning, something strange happened in the evening. Since I couldn't use my phone or watch TV, I felt very calm after a while.
I can understand that. We spend so much time looking at screens every day. When the electricity goes away, we are forced to put away our phone and just be quiet.
Exactly. My phone was dead, so I couldn't check social media or look at my emails. At first, I felt a bit worried. I thought, what if someone is trying to call me? But then, I realized that the world would not stop if I didn't check my messages for one night.
That is a very healthy way to think. We call that a digital detox. It is when you stop using electronic devices for a period of time to reduce stress. Did you find it easy to relax?
After I lit the candles, I sat on my sofa and just listened to the sounds of the street. It was so peaceful. I decided to focus on a book that I started reading 3 months ago but never finished. Because there were no distractions, I read 50 pages in 1 hour.
That is amazing. Usually, we get a notification on our phone every 5 minutes and it breaks our focus. Reading by candlelight sounds very romantic and quiet. Did you talk to anyone else?
Yes, my neighbor came over to ask if I had any matches. Usually, we just say a quick hello in the hallway. But because we both had no power, we stood and talked face to face for nearly 30 minutes. We talked about our families and our jobs. It was the longest conversation we have ever had.
That is a wonderful positive side of a power cut. It forces people to connect with each other. We spend so much time talking through apps that we forget how nice it is to talk face to face. Electricity gives us entertainment, but it sometimes takes away our human connection.
I felt the same way. When the lights finally came back on at 10 p.m., I actually felt a little bit sad. The bright lights felt too strong, and the noise of the fridge starting up again felt too loud. I had enjoyed the peace and quiet of the darkness.
I have felt that too. Sometimes I choose to turn off all the lights and the Wi-Fi on Sunday evenings just to have that feeling again. It helps me clear my mind before the work week starts. It makes me feel refreshed.
I think I will start doing that too. You don't need a power cut to disconnect from technology. You can just choose to do it. It helps you focus on what is really important, like reading, thinking, or talking to friends.
It also helps you sleep better. Doctors say that the blue light from our phones keeps our brains awake. Without the lights, did you go to bed early?
I went to bed at 10:30 p.m., right after the power came back. Usually, I stay up until midnight watching videos. I woke up this morning feeling very refreshed and full of energy.
That is the best result. So, the power cut was actually a good thing in the end. It taught you how to be prepared, it helped you connect with your neighbor, and it gave you a great night of sleep.
You are right, Ben. It was a difficult day, but a very good lesson. I learned that I can survive without my gadgets, and sometimes life is even better without them. We used some interesting idioms and phrases just now. Shall we explain what they mean?
Definitely. I think our listeners will find these very helpful for their daily lives.
First, put away your phone. It means to stop using your phone and place it somewhere else, like in a drawer or a bag. For example, please put away your phone during dinner.
Second, talk face to face. It means to talk to someone directly while you are in the same place, rather than on the phone or computer. For example, it is much better to discuss problems face to face.
Third, peace and quiet. It is a phrase used to describe a situation that is calm and has no noise or stress. For example, I went to the library to get some peace and quiet.
Fourth, focus on. It means to give all your attention to a particular person or task. For example, I need to focus on my homework right now.
Fifth, refreshed. It means feeling full of energy and ready to start again, especially after resting. For example, I felt very refreshed after my holiday. So listeners, we are curious about your habits. Do you ever choose to turn off your electronics for a few hours to get some peace and quiet?
Let us know in the comments. Do you enjoy having a digital detox sometimes? Or do you feel too stressed if you are not connected to the internet?
Now it's your turn.
Let's practice what you learned today.
First, a listening challenge. Can you find 3 phrases we used today about daily routines or household items? Listen again if you need to.
Second, a speaking challenge. Say this sentence aloud 3 times. I decided to put away my phone to get some peace and quiet. Focus on speaking slowly and clearly.
Third, a writing challenge. Write 3 sentences in the comments. Tell us, what would you do first if the electricity went off at your house right now? Would you read a book or go for a walk?
Remember, small practice every day helps you improve your English skills.
That's right. Just one step at a time. Let's review what we learned today. We talked about the shock of a morning power cut and how it changes our morning routine.
We also discussed finding alternatives like using a flashlight or eating canned food instead of cooking on an electric stove.
And finally, we shared the positive side of having no power, like talking face to face and feeling refreshed after a night without screens.
Let's repeat 5 important phrases slowly one more time. Power cut. Run out of battery. Instead of peace and quiet, talk face to face.
Remember, English learning is about practice and patience. Don't worry if you don't know every single word yet.
That's right. Keep listening and keep practicing every day. Thanks for listening to Everyday English Talk.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something useful about surviving a day without electricity.
Don't forget to download the free PDF transcript and vocabulary exercises to practice what you heard today.
So listeners, tell us in the comments, what is the one thing you would miss the most if you had no electricity for 24 hours?
We love reading your stories and seeing how you use your new English phrases in your daily life.
Bye for now.